Okay, well, it was just good for us to play game in Cameron. You work all year round and you recruit and you do all this to have the opportunity to play a game. And I thought for our guys, there's so much new. Like we even had to talk about where we go for starting lineups and the timing in the locker room and where you sit. Just some of the basic things you forget about, the fact we have such a new group. But I thought our guys did a really good job. A ton to work on, so much to get better at. I could go on, but this is part of the journey. On day one, to play a team like Lincoln, they returned their entire team. Julius Hodge, man, obviously he was a terrific player, as good of a player as there is in the ACC. Know what a competitor he is. I thought he had his guys incredibly well prepared. They're quick. I think to see a quick team that can drive the ball was helpful, and then they really compete. And so the game was really good. And again, I'm sure you'll ask me, but a ton to work on, and it's good that we have another week of practice.
Jon, what's the benefit of getting film of you guys against someone else and having that to cut up and you be in those teaching moments with this roster?
Yeah, well, the first thing is our guys get tired of playing against each other. I think we've had 63 days of summer workouts, preseason, and practice, so you get tired of it. And then the second thing is we have a very specific kind of group. We're bigger, we're longer. I'm not sure we're the quickest team in the country, so to see that quickness, I think was really helpful. And then just to see different schemes. And so, Kaman and Malik, literally, they've just played against each other with Pappy and out. So just to play against some different bodies, as an example, I think that's, what's so helpful about it.
So, Coach, with it being such a big win and, the guys going well, how do you get them to continue to have that motor to continue to improve and not just plateau, knowing that they did well tonight, but they have such a long season ahead of them?
Well, you're saying they did well. They'll hear from me on Monday. There's a lot that we have to do better. And it wasn't about just getting a win. Our thing is about doing our best, whatever that means. And so for us, we're going to get back to it on Monday and address all the areas we have to get better. I know for our guys, they're happy. They're excited playing in Cameron. But I think they also could feel how much we have to work on. They're not satisfied in the least bit.
Jon, for much of your early part of your career at Duke, you were the super sub, the sixth man coming off the bench. Do you see Tyrese playing that role this year?
No, we're not there yet. Yeah, we're looking at different lineups, different rotations, getting a feel for a different team. Won't be surprised if we have a different starting group next game too.
Cooper Flagg, it must be a luxury to have a guy that can make up for so much on defense. What is it like to have a guy that has a natural ability to just make up ground and get blocks like that? And you also mentioned last game that you felt like it would take him one game to adjust, and that was obviously the case.
Well, he's a natural. He has great instincts. Obviously, with how hard he plays. And then you add in his feel. He's going to make some special plays today. He had 4 blocks. I think he can even add in some steals, preferably next time going forward. But I thought it was good for him. I thought he was himself. I thought even for Coop, he can rebound more. Just the decision. There's so much there for him. And I thought it was great for him to get a feel today, though.
You said that there may be a different starting lineup next game. How difficult is it for you to manage the time when you have such a deep team?
I think it's, as a coach, it's of course it's part of the blessing, and it's part of the hard part where everybody wants to play, and you can't play everybody, right? But I can tell you is the guys that will end up playing are rewarded by what they do in practice. And it's not going to be based on recruiting rankings. It's not going to be based on mock drafts, or it's not based on any of that. It's based on what makes Duke the best right now and what you've earned. And then obviously at the same time, you're still building for the big picture. So Kaman's a great example. I thought Kaman had a really good game today. 6 offensive rebounds. He protected the rim. He's not close to the player that he's going to become. And so for us as a team, the challenge is how can we grow as much as we possibly can, at the same time still be at our best for the moment. And so for our team, I remember as a player, if I missed a block out, I didn't want to miss a block out because I knew I could come out of the game. If I didn't get back on defense, I knew I could come out of the game. And that's part of how we coach our guys and hold them accountable, but it's part of the strength of our team is having depth.
Con just told us he doesn't expect to get 9 wide open catching through threes every game. So he made a lot of them, which I guess is good. But how did you see the offense working to help him get those shots up?
Well, I thought we had some really good sequences of sharing the ball. Thought it was a little bit sticky at times, but that's getting a feel for just playing continuously, playing against a different opponent, and just finding the hot hand. And Khan's a good guy to find, of course. And I think he's going to have to work harder, to get some of those shots. But again, they were adamant about protecting the paint and taking our drives away. So you have to take what the defense is giving you. But I think it's the strength of our team, Steve. I don't know who's going to be our leading scorer and top few scorers, but I think depending on the game and the situation, different guys can go off. And so finding Khan, it's a good thing to do.
John, I know you said there's still a lot to work on, but it felt like the energy, especially in the defense end, was very high. Would that be one of your takeaways, just that the energy this team's bringing even so early in the season? Yeah,
I thought the effort was high. The execution maybe wasn't as good as I would like it to be, but I thought the effort was there. I thought the awareness, the want to, all of that was there. It's just, there's always a little bit of game slippage when you go from practice the entire summer to your first game. So I think for our guys, I could even see their faces in the locker room. They felt they can do better, which is what you want to feel. But the attitudes, some sequences I thought were really high level.
Where is Patrick Mugamba in his recovery? And when do you see him getting back on the court?
Yeah, man, I wish Pat was out there today. He's doing well, but he's now jumping a little bit, but he still is a ways away. And it would be wrong of me to put a timeline on it because our priority is getting him 100% and getting him back and healthy and ready to go. But again, we're attacking it with a crazy urgency, but I can't put a time on it right now.
Coach Scheyer, congrats on the win. It's great to see the team back in action. I recently saw a clip of Jay Billis speaking, and he says that your role is not who you are, but you're capable of. It's what your team needs you to do to win. I'm wondering if you agree with Jay, and also when you have a team that's full of so much talent, how important is it to have guys committed to their roles?
Yeah, well, I think what Jay's saying, one is I agree 100%, but it's about sacrifice. Like being part of a team, if you don't sacrifice something, then you're not going to have the team that you are capable of having. And you still need guys that move the ball. You still need screeners. You need rebounders. Guys that play their role is important. And so for our team, it's not, I think that's something we have to continue to learn. I can't say specifically exactly what each guy needs to do at this moment because we're growing. But it's the understanding of who you're playing with, how you can make them better. And then end of the day, no matter who you are you defending and rebounding? And that's it's going to be a big thing for our team.
It seemed like you guys played a fair amount of 5-out today, but often with Kaman and Malik spaced to the lead. What is the value of doing that? What does that do for your spacing by having your 5 in those positions, you're a non-shooter spaced to the lead?
Well, one, for us, we've really put a big emphasis on opening up the basket for drives. And often if you have your big just always right by the basket, then the big's going to be helping right by the basket. And one, they can shoot an occasional 3. They've both shown they're capable of doing that. I want to encourage them to shoot more, because even if they don't hit a crazy high percentage, just the threat of shooting is important. And I've seen both of them enough where they're capable of doing that. But it also gives them, I thought Kaman got a bunch, just he had a running start to the basket. Sometimes when you're stationary and you're right, even if you're in the dunker or wherever you are, they know where you are there then. And when you're screening, holding the defense up, then you're occupying the defense, opens up for drives, and then also I think we have a team that can do a lot of off-ball movement, not just on-ball. And so that's something for us. Tonight it was, I think, just okay. But I think as we progress and understand the reads you can make, how to keep the defense honest, and how to surround then the open basket with great shooting, I think we can have some really special offense.
John, just curious, because first chance to talk to you about this. What's your reaction to Tony Bennett's sudden announcement to retire, and why he said he wanted to stop coaching?
Yeah, man, I was bummed to see that. You know, I was bummed. You know, one, huge fan, ton of respect for Tony. You know, he came to Virginia my senior year at Duke as a player. And so for his 15 seasons, I've competed against him 12 of the 15 years as a player or as a coach. And look, we've had some big time battles against many teams in the league, but no games that are tougher than playing Virginia and his teams that he's had. I expect that obviously to continue. So one, just I felt, you know, I was bummed to see it, you know, because I respect who he is as a person, what he's done for our game, who he is as a coach. And then two, I have empathy for how he feels. You know, I think the difference is I started my career, you know, in this environment, and I think that's an advantage in a lot of respects. But still, I understand how he's feeling. You know, obviously, I think any coach, family, you always want more family time. You always want more stability. But again, for me, it's the environment we're in. Let's go. It's a blessing. Like I'm ready to roll. But you know, our game misses having a guy like Tony Bennett in it as a coach for sure.
John, how much have you had to work with Kaman on his voice and how loud he is defensively? That's always a focal point for freshmen, especially freshman bigs.
I'll tell you what, Connor, he's a natural at it. You know, it's been something we've talked about, but he's a natural. I mean, he came in that way. Reminds me of Lively, or reminds me of Jared McCain. Just the energy he brings all the time. He knows no other way, and it just changes your defense when you have him back there commanding it. And so I wish I could take credit. I can't, but that's all him.
Last question here.
So barring injuries, every player saw the court today. Was that intentional as you try to solve these lineup questions? If not, what do you think the team gains from all having contributed to this win?
Yeah, I thought that was great. I mean, I don't know if the entire team is going to get in that way, but for our scholarship guys, they're all good players. You want to try to do the best you can, giving them runway, you know, to work through some mistakes and feel it out, but you also can't afford mistakes, you know, with the games and the schedule that we have. And so that's going to be a huge process for us, not putting a cap on what a rotation can be, not predetermining what that may be. But I think you're going to see a lot of growth from all these guys. And at times it may be, you know, somebody doesn't play one game and then the next game you can't. I think we have that kind of team, but we have a long way to go with it. So, all right, well, thank you all. Thank you.